manhunt is over for the gunman in a New York subway shooting. A closer look at the disturbing videos the suspect posted to his YouTube page before the attack.
Plus, we're learning new details about the suspect's ties to Wisconsin and what he bought in Racine County that may have been used in the incident.
And will the state Supreme Court get rid of ballot drop boxes? A closer look at why that could be a possibility. You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. The manhunt is over for the suspect of a New York subway shooting who has ties to Wisconsin. 62-year-old Frank James was arrested this afternoon after someone recognized him walking on the street in the East Village. Investigators discovered James that recently lived in Milwaukee. One of his neighbors says she didn't interact much with James, but she does remember him.
When I say hi, it's like a grunt. I don't see him. I hear him sometimes yelling on the phone, arguing about things. He's always chopping up something. And yeah, he's really not friendly, but...
Police say fireworks that James left behind in a bag after the attack are believed to have been bought at a Phantom Fireworks in Caledonia, south of Milwaukee. The store told police they don't have surveillance video of James buying the items, but they did confirm that he bought them last June. Police discovered James recently left Milwaukee, traveling to Philadelphia, where he rented a U-Haul van with a Wisconsin driver's license. The van was found abandoned in Brooklyn after the attack.
And we are learning more information about James, including the disturbing videos posted to his YouTube page about gun violence that police discovered. Gloria Pasmino has more. We want to warn you, some viewers may find the content in this story disturbing.
New York City police say they've arrested 62-year-old Frank James, the man they now call a suspect in Tuesday's subway shooting. James spoke heavily about violence in multiple rambling videos posted online, including what appears to be his latest video posted just one day before the shooting.
I wanted to kill people. I wanted to watch people die right in front of my face immediately. But I thought about the fact that, hey man, I don't want to go to no prison.
The videos posted by James give some insight into his trip to New York City. In one of the videos, James says he left his home in Wisconsin on March 20th and was heading to the, quote, danger zone.
We need to see more mass shootings. Yeah, we need to see more. There has to be more mass shootings.
Police say James rented this U-Haul van on April 11th in Philadelphia. The U-Haul was found in Brooklyn Tuesday after keys to the vehicle were found at the scene of the subway attack. Investigators also linking the gun found at the scene to James and tracking the purchase of a gas mask to James through eBay. That's according to law enforcement officials. The manhunt for James may be over, but the healing for victims is just beginning.
I still feel the pain. They gave me a bunch of pain meds, but it's still there. I can still feel it. I can still see the hole. I don't think I can ever ride the train again.
In Brooklyn, I'm Gloria Pasmino.
And police say all 10 shooting victims are expected to survive. If convicted on terrorism charges, James could face life in prison. All right, Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti out on the weather patio this evening. It has been a soggy day. Fortunately, nothing severe, but the rain continues to fall, Gary.
Yeah, now we're on the backside of this weather system, so we're seeing the colder air move in and a little steadier rain rather than the thunderstorms that we had last night and even for part of the day yesterday. But you can see a visible cloud track, lots of clouds. The rain is moving through, maybe mixing with snow out west of the Mississippi River, but most of the thunderstorm activity is over southeastern Wisconsin. So, well, we can't rule out an isolated thunderstorm this evening. For the most part, it's just going to be rain. High temperatures reach the middle 60s. Janesville hit 70 degrees before the cold front came through. Look where temperatures are now. Still 70 in Milwaukee, 47 in Madison, and already in the upper 30s and middle 30s across parts of northeastern Iowa. There is a wind advisory from 10 a.m. tomorrow morning until 7 p.m. tomorrow evening for all of southern Wisconsin for wind gusts up to 40 to 50 miles per hour. Otherwise, look for the rain to end overnight. Skies will clear out. Tomorrow will be a windy and colder day with a high of 44. Later on, we'll take a look at a forecast that includes more chilly weather as we head toward the Easter holiday.
All right, Gary, thank you. The White House announced the U.S. will be sending a new package of military aid to Ukraine. The $750 million package includes artillery, armored personnel carriers, and biological and chemical protective suits ahead of the anticipated Russian offensive on eastern Ukraine. Defense officials say Russia is focusing airstrikes on Mariupol and the Donbass region as they stage ground forces for a renewed push.
We tailored this list specifically to meet the needs that they have asked for with respect to what's going on in eastern Ukraine.
As the war nears its 50th day, the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe released a report finding evidence that Russia committed war crimes in Ukraine, including the targeting of civilians and medical facilities, as well as rape, executions, looting, and forced deportations of civilians to Russia. We saw a lot of confusion about ballot drop boxes, as you'll recall, in the last couple elections. First they were allowed, then they weren't, thanks to some Supreme Court rulings.
And today, the state Supreme Court starts the process to make a final decision here after hearing arguments from both sides. Political reporter Will Keneally listened to it all. And Will, what do you expect to see next here?
That's right. So the question at the center of this is, can the Wisconsin Elections Commission make suggestions without creating a rule? The heart of the debate is that the legislature would have to be involved if a rule is made, but the commission seems to be able to make suggestions on their own. So is a suggestion a rule? The swing vote on the bench, Justice Brian Hagedorn wanted to get to the heart of that question.
These memos, then, you think they all have the force of law, that all local officials need to follow every word of them?
The Wisconsin Elections Commission offered a suggestion to clerks during the pandemic. They could use drop boxes to collect ballots. If the court rules for the plaintiffs represented by Rick Essenberg, it could mean we won't use drop boxes for the fall election.
I think that they have the force of law, not by requiring clerks to do this because WEC did require them to do drop boxes, but WEC authorized them to do drop boxes.
It would also require the Elections Commission to get the legislature's approval for future suggestions. This could also block their ability to allow people to return absentee ballots for other voters. Disability advocates say that this is key to keeping elections accessible. Not every voter, for example, can put an envelope in the mail.
They may not have arms, but they do have the constitutional right to vote, and it is protected by federal civil rights laws that were enacted to combat such forms of discrimination.
Essenberg says that that's in conflict with state law. Though the intention may be to facilitate helping people vote, the Elections Commission can't tweak that.
You cannot take your son with you to, help you fill out your ballot and deliver it to the clerk. You must do it yourself. The legislature has tried to replicate that with respect to absentee balloting.
So it will likely all come down to Justice Brian Hagedorn to decide where the court lands. We're also waiting for the court to weigh in on the state's redistricting maps after the U.S. Supreme Court kicked it back down to Wisconsin. Eric?
All right, Will, thank you very much.
The CDC has extended the travel mask mandate until May 3rd. That means masks will still be required in airports, planes, and Madison buses for another 2 weeks. The mandate was set to expire Monday, but it was extended since COVID cases are rising in some parts of the country. The CDC says the U.S. death toll from COVID-19 could hit 1 million by next month. Johns Hopkins University reports just over 986,000 fatal COVID cases have been confirmed since the start of the pandemic. Despite that possibility, the CDC says COVID deaths are on a downward trend overall. COVID-related hospitalizations are also decreasing, but top health officials say only time will tell when we are fully out of the woods.
You wouldn't call it a crisis, but you don't want to forget about it, because we know what variants can do. Remember, we got fooled with Delta. Remember, we got fooled with Omicron. So we've always got to be alert to the fact that we're dealing with a challenge that is a moving target for us.
Next at 5, Madison police are searching for a man suspected in a sexual assault. It happened early Tuesday. Officers dispatched to a Brandy Road apartment after a stranger reportedly attacked and sexually assaulted the victim as she was walking into her apartment building. A neighbor called the police when she heard the victim screaming for help. Police ultimately brought in a canine to track the man, but had no luck.
I don't want to make people fear walking around. but I also want people to be realistic that, dangerous things do happen at times.
Yesterday, 6 detectives were working the case, and the police department's still working with the crime lab to evaluate evidence. They're hoping to get some DNA to help track down the suspect.
It is official. The city of Milwaukee's first black mayor is now in office. Cavalier Johnson took the oath of office during an inauguration ceremony today. Johnson was elected mayor earlier this month after defeating former Milwaukee alderman Bob Donovan in a special election. He was the city's acting mayor at the time because his predecessor, former Mayor Tom Barrett, stepped down to become the U.S. ambassador to Luxembourg. Johnson will serve a shortened 2-year term, which is the rest of Barrett's term. Today's gloomy weather didn't stop the iconic sunburst chairs and tables from returning to the Wisconsin Memorial Union Terrace. Crews were out this morning taking the green, yellow, and orange chairs out of storage. Chairs have populated the Memorial Union Terrace along the shore of Lake Mendota for more than 90 years. The tradition began with wooden chairs in the 1920s before the university transitioned to the metal chairs with the sunburst design that we all know and love so well.
Well, tomorrow, 4:14 p.m., the first pitch in the 414 area code on 414. Home opener, Brewers hosting the Cardinals. Join Leah and Josh live from American Family Field on News 3 Now this morning. They'll have a preview of all the festivities there, and sports director Zach Hanley will be on live at 4. He'll also have all the post-game coverage. Now, if you're going to the game, head over to channel3000.com, and there on our sports section, you'll find everything you need to know if you're planning to head on over. Coming up, won't be long before the start of hurricane season.
Hear why experts say an above-average stretch of storms are expected to hit the U.S. this year. We'll have that after the break. And later, how one student is helping her peers tell their stories of harassment and discrimination. Details coming up tonight on News 3 Now at 6.
Positive terrain for the markets in midweek trading. The Dow up more than 344 points. The Nasdaq jumps 272. S&P adds 49. And we'll be right back.
Your John Deere is here. Get yours during deer season. Right now, get your new full-size or mid-size Gator with 0% for 48 months. Get a John Deere now and
power up with Sloan's.
Get your Gator running. Test drive one today at Sloan's.
Dylan, how's the cash situation with all the price increases?
Honestly, not that great.
Well, Slumberland can help. It's our biggest finance sales event of the year. Check out this cool patio set for just $25 a month, or this beautiful sectional for just $20 a month when you spend $1,200 and pay no interest for 5 years.
No way.
And for your new mattress, come to Slumberland Sleep Solutions, where we've rated each bed on back support and softness to take all the guesswork out of shopping.
In the military, we call it dereliction of duty. Ron Johnson is supposed to serve Wisconsin. Instead, he served himself. An investigation found Ron Johnson pushed through a special tax loophole that benefited his own family's business. Then he cashed out of the company for $5 million. Ron Johnson has doubled his wealth since taking office. That's a dereliction of duty. Tell Ron Johnson to stop passing tax laws that benefit himself.
Sunroom saving season is here. Four Seasons has a great way to beat the backyard blues and save 20 to 25%. Let's cover your deck with a screen room or 3 Seasons porch. We can turn your screen porch into an enclosed screen porch or put a pergola on your patio. All on sale now. Let CoolView show you how to tame your backyard and improve your lifestyle. Call for a free backyard survey, design, and quote.
Get a new view from CoolView.
There are so many things we take for granted, and along with them, sometimes we take the people who depend on them for granted too. How can they survive with record increases in their basic cost of living? And through no fault of their own, they're being left behind. If you or someone you know needs a hand up, our energy, water, and emergency rental assistance providers are working together to keep you safely in your home. You may not ask for it, but we're here to help.
Your John Deere is here. Get yours during deer season. Right now, save $300 plus 0% for 84 months on a 1 Series. Get a John Deere now and
power up with Sloan's.
Run with a 1 Family Series. Test drive one at Sloan's.
A federal announcement lifts the ban on selling E15 gasoline this summer. Tonight at 6, find out if this type of gas will work for your car. Also, see what an Oregon student is doing to help sexual assault victims tell their stories. That's tonight on News 3 Now at 6.
A young woman faced with a lifetime of challenges.
You hear your whole life about the limitations, but you never hear about the exceptions.
See how drive, skill, and love for the sport have helped this cheerleader overcome her obstacles to become a champion. Thursday at 6. You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
Welcome back. 2 men charged with impersonating federal agents for the last 2 years will be released on home detention as they await trial. The men are accused of posing as officers of Homeland Security since at least February of 2020. Yesterday, a judge said that the Justice Department's arguments were, quote, overblown. He ruled prosecutors had not met the legal standard required to keep them in jail. Pending trial, the men won't be allowed to go to airports or foreign embassies or talk to any of the federal agents involved in that case.
The upcoming hurricane season could rival that of 2021, which ushered in a record-breaking 21 named tropical storms.
And this forecast is concerning for residents still recovering from last year. Skylar Henry with more from Washington.
It's been nearly 8 months since Category 4 Hurricane Ida carved its devastating path from the Gulf up through the Northeast, directly killing 55 people. Some Louisiana residents are still living in trailers.
It's going to be a long time before we come back. Real long time.
Now, a recent Colorado State University study predicts this year's season from June through November could see 19 named storms with 9 hurricanes.
If this forecast verifies, this is the 7th above average season in a row.
Alex DeRosier is a climate specialist whose research was part of the study.
It only takes one storm in your area to make it an active hurricane season for you. Even if it's a well below average season, you should still be ready.
That's the message FEMA and the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration also took to a hurricane conference in Orlando, Florida. They say complacency and lack of preparedness are what keeps them up at night. They want all Americans, no matter where you live, to have a plan.
Do you know how you're going to evacuate? Do you know where you're going to go?
You got to have that plan ready to go.
Federal administrators also point out that recent storms like Ida tend to hover over land much longer, impacting their timeline to get the message out.
These storms are getting worse. They are getting worse. We're going to have less time to warn people.
These federal agencies say they're also doing all they can to expand their outreach, including diversifying their teams, especially to Spanish-speaking communities, to reach everyone potentially in a storm's path. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Washington.
Federal officials also warned of indirect deaths in the aftermath of storms caused by improper use of generators, and they say people need to learn proper generator safety measures ahead of any storm. Well, let's get a look at our certified most accurate weather. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti and your forecast. Gary?
Well, we were lucky. We missed out on a lot of the severe weather. We had a little bit late yesterday afternoon and a little bit last night, but the storms the worst of the storms stayed out to the west in Iowa last night, and then today are down in central Illinois and areas farther to the south. 3 things you need to know in the forecast. The showers will gradually come to an end later on this evening, and then it'll turn windy for tomorrow. We could see some wind gusts of over 40 miles per hour at times. Temperatures, though, are going to be chilly. We go back to below normal temperatures starting tomorrow and lasting probably through most of, if not all of next week. Now we're looking at just mainly rain and high-resolution Doppler across much of southern Wisconsin. A few lightning flashes over southeastern Wisconsin. Farther to the west, temperatures are cold enough. There could be a few flakes of snow mixed in, but Prairie du Chien right now is at 38 degrees, so nothing that would stick to the ground. And by the time it gets cold enough for snow, most of the precipitation will be lifting to the north and east. Skies are actually clearing out across western Iowa. The severe weather activity today is highest in the south. Tornado watches in effect from southern Illinois all the way down to northern portions of Mississippi. A big squall line here and a number of severe thunderstorm and tornado warnings. Over the last 72 hours, the last 3 days, there's been 3 rounds of severe weather that have hit basically from Texas northward to Missouri, eastward into parts of Kentucky, and then farther north. Most of ours has been over the last 24 to 36 hours. Again, these storms and hail and wind reports were yesterday during the afternoon. Last night, a number of tornado reports across Iowa. Those storms moved into far southeastern Minnesota and then weakened as they headed into Wisconsin after midnight last night. But again, the big activity right now is down to the south. Next thing we have to face is the wind. Wind advisories in effect for all of southern and central Wisconsin from 10 a.m. Tomorrow morning until 7 p.m. tomorrow evening. High wind warnings in effect for parts of South Dakota. Farther to the north, they don't need high wind warnings because they have blizzard warnings in effect. They've had anywhere from 1 to almost 3 feet of snow and winds of 50 miles per hour, continuing with blizzard conditions across much of North Dakota. Temperatures right now, mid-40s here in Madison. Ahead of the front, 60s through Michigan. Farther back to the west, temperatures are below freezing through the Dakotas. The storm system really wrapping up. Notice the jet stream splitting into a couple different parts here. That's where you get the severe weather threat. But the cold front now is barreled to the east of us. We're now on the backside of the storm. Temperatures 40s, 30s here. Compared to 24 hours ago, our temperatures 15 degrees colder. To the west, those temperatures running about 30 to 35 degrees colder than they were at this time yesterday. Wind advisory in effect from 10 a.m. tomorrow until 7 p.m. tomorrow evening. Look for a high of 44, but those winds 20 to 30 miles per hour, good gust 40 to 50 miles per hour, so it'll be quite windy through the day. On future track, the showers moving out tonight. Then you can see skies starting to clear overnight, and by morning, temperatures drop into the lower 30s. Tomorrow, again, very windy with high temperatures in the middle 40s. Mid-40s for Friday, slight chance for a shower. Colder for Saturday, chilly for Easter Sunday. Maybe some rain or snow showers Sunday night into Monday. We'll have to wait until the end of next week and the following weekend before we get temperatures even back up close to normal. As we check out first warn traffic, rain on the roads at this time, not a good thing. The Beltline view at Monona Drive from the DOT camera, not too bad there, but there are some delays, especially farther back to the west, from basically from around Monona Drive all the way back to Verona Road. Also a crash westbound on the Beltline just to the between Stoughton Road and Monona Drive. Right now, almost a half hour in either direction on the Beltline, about double the normal travel time. And heading out of Madison, 26 minutes from the Beltline to Janesville on I-3990. Okay from Middleton to Sauk City on US 12, as well as downtown to Sun Prairie. That's your News 3 Now First Warn traffic.
Gary, thank you. Next at 5, we've covered this issue before, catalytic converter thefts. They're on the rise again. We'll have the latest details just ahead.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
We're USA Insulation, and our premium injection foam turns your cold and drafty house into a warm and toasty home. Call now and save $500 on whole home insulation.
USA Insulation.
Before treating your chronic migraine, 15 or more headache days a month, each lasting 4 hours or more, you're not the only one with questions about Botox. Botox prevents headaches in adults with chronic migraine before they even start, with about 10 minutes of treatment once every 3 months. So ask your doctor if Botox is right for you, and if a sample is available.
Effects of Botox may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away, as difficulty swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness can be signs of a life-threatening condition. Side effects may include allergic reactions, neck and injection site pain, fatigue, and headache. Don't receive Botox if there's a skin infection. Tell your doctor your medical history, muscle or nerve conditions, and medications, including botulinum toxins, as these may increase the risk of serious side effects.
In a survey, 92% of current users said they wish they talked to their doctor and started Botox sooner. Plus, right now, you may pay $0 for Botox. Ask your doctor about Botox today.
Create the yard of your dreams with Menard's huge selection of garden supplies. Grow a beautiful lawn with Pennington Smart Seed Sun and Shade Grass Seed. It requires 30% less watering. A 20-pound bag is just $49.99 after 11% rebate. Get a clean edge around gardens and flower beds with Mastermark Gardener Pro Lawn Edging. It blocks the spreading of grass and weeds. Master Gardener Lawn Edging is $15.99 after 11% rebate at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
How do you use your energy? Fueling your drive to deliver hope for neighbors in need? At Alliant Energy, we're creating more clean, renewable energy every single day to power what matters to you. Alliant Energy, powering beyond.
Things were really starting to turn worse for my mom. They basically said, that's all we can do.
Right to try is hope when there is no hope.
We had done research on the Zysami. Apparently it was still in stage 3 clinical trials.
She couldn't have that medication unless it was for the Right to Try Act and Senator Johnson's work.
This is 3 days after the treatment, and you can see the difference. You know, without the efforts of Senator Johnson, my mom wouldn't be here today.
I'm Ron Johnson, and I approve this message.
Discover what's in store at Habitat Restore Dane County. You'll find something new every time you visit to keep your project on budget with low price and high quality home supplies. For one-of-a-kind items, shop Habitat Restore Dane County today.
We're USA Insulation, and our premium injection foam turns your cold and drafty house into a warm and toasty home. Call now and save $500 on whole home insulation.
USA Insulation.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
Filling up your fridge, emptying your wallet more quickly these days. As you well know, food prices increased nearly 9% over the last year. Experts say groceries shot up 10% overall, with products like eggs, flour, milk all rising at least 11%. Bacon prices were up 18.2%. Researchers say a couple factors are causing food items to be more expensive, including crop-affecting drought and the war in Ukraine, which has disrupted wheat production. It's a theft we have covered before, on the rise again during the pandemic.
Criminals are targeting cars and quickly removing a valuable part of the exhaust system. Joy Benedict explains why.
David Summers' security camera caught a truck pulling up next to his. Then a man with a tool climbs underneath.
And then my security camera alerted me that someone was out front.
Hey, you! Summer ran out on his balcony, and the men quickly took off.
I start screaming at these guys, "You're trying to steal my catalytic converter."
Catalytic converters are valuable because of the rhodium and palladium inside. Thieves can walk onto a driveway and saw one off in a matter of minutes.
Palladium is a very expensive metal. It's more expensive than gold.
Prices for the precious metal have been on the rise for years and then spiked when war broke out in Ukraine because Russia is a major palladium producer.
Authorities say criminals get about $200 for one of the stolen devices, but victims have to pay $1,000 to $3,000 for a replacement.
At this meat distribution center in Boston, 17 trucks were hit in one night.
They're brazen, they're fast.
Kevin Clower says thieves targeted his truck 3 times in the past few months.
We don't know what it's going to take to stop them.
Clower's insurance paid for the replacement, but not all policies cover it. Car owners can pay a mechanic to engrave their VIN number on the converter. That could deter a thief from taking it, or at least make the part traceable, if they do. Joy Benedict, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Several states are now considering legislation that would increase jail time for catalytic converter thefts and require scrapyards to document who sells them one. We'll get a final check of your First Warn forecast when we come back.
You're watching Madison's fastest growing newscast, News 3 Now at 5.
Save more at Hy-Vee. Smoked ham portion, only $1.28 a pound. Canned corn or green beans, only 39 cents. And pineapples, only $1.99 each. Scan the QR code or check out HyVeeDeals.com for more deals.
Family-owned Brothers Maine knows choosing appliances for a remodel or new build can be exciting and overwhelming. Our experienced staff has experienced it all as we've guided thousands of area families through appliance selection. Brothers Maine has a larger inventory and low-price deals that consistently beat competitors, including Big Box. You heard me, Big Box can't beat our prices. From sales to install, Brothers Maine does it all. Feel great about your purchases and feel like family at Brothers Maine.
I got nothing to eat.
Nothing.
Hold on, I can do something.
Turning nothing into something.
Turning nothing into something.
It's amazing what you can do with nothing and a little Hellmann's.
Open Talenti and raise the jar to gelato made from scratch. Raise the jar to all 5 layers. Raise the jar to the best gelato you've ever tasted. Talenti. Raise the jar.
For decades, Washington politicians have promised to lower the cost of prescription drugs. But every year the prices go up. Why? Because Republicans like Ron Johnson, and let's be honest, too many Democrats don't have the guts to stand up to the pharmaceutical companies. I'm Sarah Godlewski, and I will. I want to bring practical solutions to Washington. That's what I've done as state treasurer. I'm Sarah Godlewski, and the big drug companies may not approve this message, but I do.
Creating family memories is what Maple Leaf Landscaping is all about. We design and build outdoor spaces that bring people together. Landscaped spaces for any size family. Functional, beautiful, a place everyone will enjoy. And it all starts with a free visit at your home by one of our landscape experts. So call Maple Leaf Landscaping today and have us create an outdoor living space for your home.
When 140-mile-per-hour winds come out of nowhere and try to wipe you off the map. When you look up and see sky where your roof used to be. When the power is out and stays out for 7 or 8 or 10 days. When the phone lines are down and the cell phones have all gone dead. You find out who your friends are. Because the worst brings out our best.
Save more at Hy-Vee. Smoked ham portion, only $1.28 a pound. Canned corn or green beans, only 39 cents. And pineapples, only $1.99 each. Scan the QR code or check out HyVeeDeals.com for more deals.
Coming up on this busy news day, the subway shooting suspect arrested, what we're learning about his long history of crime, and the terrorism charge he faces. Plus, a CBS News exclusive, we get rare access to the cargo plane shipping hundreds of javelins to the battlefield in Ukraine. And what do Alicia Keys, Ricky Martin, and the Wu-Tang Clan now have in common? Well, watch to find out. The CBS Evening News is now just minutes away.
Gary's back. Final check of the weather.
Well, you want to go down to the Memorial Union? Not a good place to be today. The rain continues. Most of the thunderstorm activity is over southeastern Wisconsin, but we can't rule out at least a few flakes of snow mixing in with the rain out toward the Mississippi River, where temperatures are already in the upper 30s. Here in Madison, we're at 47 degrees. We notice Prairie du Chien at 37. To the east, Milwaukee still at 65, but those temperatures will be dropping very quickly. Wind advisory in effect from 10 a.m. tomorrow morning till 7 p.m. tomorrow evening for all of southern Wisconsin. Look for a low of 31. The skies clear out overnight. Tomorrow will be very windy, high 44. Winds could gust 40 to 50 miles an hour during the day. Look for chilly weather right through Easter and through much of next week. Some rain or snow shower chances Sunday night into Monday, and then again Tuesday night into Wednesday.
All right, Gary, thank you. We're back in 30 minutes for News 3 Now at 6. CBS Evening News coming your way next.